Hello everyone, welcome to True Crime and Tarot. I am Natalie, and today's case that I'm going to be talking to you about is the Joe Pichler case. So about Joe then. So he was born on February the 14th, 1987 in Bremerton in Washington, US. He had disappeared on January the 5th, 2006 at age 18 in Bremerton, Washington in the US. The occupation was an actor. The years active was 1996 to 2002. The awards he had was a Young Artist Award for the best performance in a feature film or the TV movie The Young Ensemble, 1999 Shira 2. Joseph David Wolfgang Pichler was born February the 14th, 1987 and had disappeared on January the 5th, 2006. He was an American child actor. He is perhaps best known for his roles in the Varsity Blues in 1999 and Beethoven's Third, 2000, and Beethoven the Fourth, 2001. So Pichler's last film credit was in the independent drama Children on Their Birthdays, 2002, and he had gone missing at age 18 under mysterious circumstances on January the 5th, 2006. Near his hometown of Bremerton, Washington, as of 2022, his whereabouts remains unknown. So his life and his career then. So the fourth of fifth children, Pichler had relocated to Los Angeles as a child to pursue in his acting career. He had some success, most notably appearing in several different movies and also television shows, with the exception of a handful of memorable supporting roles that he had going on in his career. He is probably best known for his recurring role as Brennan Newton in the third, fourth direct-to-video installments of the Beethoven movies. And this is a family-orientated comedy and some antics of mischievous Saint Bernard dog. So in 2003, it had insisted of his family that he return to his hometown of Bremerton, about 16 miles west of Seattle, and graduated from the high school there in 2005. And according to the family, Pichler had planned to return to Los Angeles in the following year after his braces was removed from his teeth, to try and resume his acting in his career at the time of his disappearance. So Pichler lived on his own in Bremerton, across town from his parents, his younger brother Matthew, which is called AJ Pichler, and his older sister Samantha. So more about his disappearance then. So Pichler was last seen on January the 5th, 2006, according to the Charlie Project, to his friends who had last stated that he was in good spirits while he was with them. So his car, a silver 2005 Toyota Corolla, was found on January the 9th, 2006 at the intersection of Wheaton Way and also the Sheridan Road. So he was reported as officially missing by his family on January the 16th. According to his family statements that the media at the time, the last outgoing call of Pichler's cell phone was placed at 4:08 a.m. and on January the 5th to a friend who had said that he had been visiting with Pichler earlier in that day. So according to the Associated Press, Pichler's family stated that a note found within the car expressed a wish to be a stronger brother and asked that personal effects of Pichler had been given to a younger brother, that also the family had not characterize this finding as a suicide note. So Robbie Davis, the lead detective on the case, told the Associated Press that there's a good indication that it might have been a suicide, but we don't know that, adding that there is no reason to suspect foul play. So his body has never been found till 2022. So films that he has been in then is in 1996, in The House as Brian, in the episode To Die For. 1996, Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, which is the little boy episode, Through a Glass. In 1996, The Fan as Sick Sean. 1997, Prison of Secrets as Zach. 1997, Gunn as the Tad in the episode The Hole. 1998, Touched by an Angel as Alex Craig, episode The Trigger. In 1998, Music from Another Room as Young Billy. 1999, Varsity Blues as Kyle Moxon. 1999, Shyla 2, Shyla Season as David Howard. 2000, Beethoven's Third as Brennan Newton. 2001, When Good Ghouls Go Bad as Danny Walker. 2001, Beethoven's Fourth as Brennan Newton. 2002, The Nightmare Room as Gary in episode The Camp Nowhere, Part 1 and 2. 2002, Children on Their Birthdays as Billy Bob Murphy. Pichler was very talented young actor. So since an early age, with many commercials, film roles, and some voiceover work under his belt, by the time he was 13 years old, Joe is also a graduate of Bremerton High School, the class of 2005. He had a pet guinea pig up to the time of his disappearance. He had also enjoyed playing the card game The Magic in the Gathering, and he likes food from Jack in the Box restaurants and also Mexican food, particularly chips and salsa. His disappearance remains unsolved to this day. So Joe has light brown hair, hazel green eyes. He was actually wearing braces at the time of his disappearance with black rubber bands on the top row of his teeth, only at the time, since the lower ones had been scheduled to be removed a month or two before his disappearance. He has a circular tattoo of a red Star Wars emblem on the inside of his right forearm, and also there is a small scar across the bridge of his nose. If anyone has any information regarding this case, then please contact Bremerton Police Department on 360-473-5228. There has been many resources saying he was 18, 19 or 20 when he had disappeared. So that is what I can find so far on this case. I couldn't find anything else. So this is where I decided to do a tarot card reading on this case to see what actually comes up. So I had done 4 specific questions, which are: number 1, what happened to Joseph Pichler? 2, who was involved in the disappearance of Joseph Pichler? 3, where is Joseph Pichler? And 4, what is the final outcome to be for Joseph Pichler's case? So what happened to Joseph Pichler then? The first card was the 8 of Wands. So there was a struggle that was to be resolved, giving him a form of freedom. Things was trying to move fast for him, but he was a bit fearful about the unknown as well. There had been some form of determination with removing all distractions and trying to focus on what he actually wanted to do. There was no stopping him and getting what he wanted at this time. Reverse Hierophant. So he was guided to follow his own path, his own instincts, and not to follow others. He was to try and trust himself and his intuition and his needs and don't need anyone else's approval. There was changes to be made. They may have a run-in with the authority, or there was a conflict with his parents with regarding what he wanted to do with his life. Six of Swords. So he left someone or a situation behind. He had then accepted his own change and his own mental clarity. There was some tough decisions that was made. There was a movement over water. Hermit. There was a lot of loneliness and soul searching and being truly alone. Reverse Queen of Wands. Either Joe or a female had become more introverted than usual and needed that sense of more alone time to try and rebuild themselves. Ten of Wands. There was a lot of taking on burdens and responsibilities. Even though it weighed him down, he was understanding that it was just temporary. And also there was a lot of working some extra hours. Page of Cups. There was an idea or an opportunity that came out of the blue and he was very curious to it. He also wanted to try and embrace his new possibilities. Reverse Knight of Swords. So there was a lot of restlessness and frustration because he wanted to take action, but someone kept holding him back. There was impulsive, rash decisions and also giving him some scattered thoughts. There was the need to try and slow down in case he gets burnt out or gets exhausted. Nine of Wands. There was adversity where he needed to stand strong, but he was very resilient and was ready to do whatever it took to do what he needed to do. Someone tried making things very difficult for him. They had gone really jealous. They had gone against his wishes. Five of Pentacles. There was some financial loss and a possible poverty. They had it a very hard time. He was isolated and alone and felt that no one cared for him and no one cared about what he wanted in life. Reverse King of Cups. There was emotions that was affecting him that caused a lot of upset and a lot of drama, and someone had triggered him and pushed his buttons, causing a lot of anxiousness, being depressed and feeling that he was being very unpredictable at this time. There was feelings that was being bottled up inside him at this time. Someone may have tried blackmailing him. They used emotional manipulation. He needed to try and get away from this person that was very, very controlling. Queen of Pentacles. So there was a female that was a nurturing person that had a full-time job. She contributes to her family. She gives a lot of support. She's very generous. That was involved in this in some way. Seven of Swords. So someone had either theft, betrayed, or tricked Joe, and also to try and get away with something. They were very sneaky. They was add some type of involvements of a secret that may have caused a form of shame, embarrassment, and it came out publicly. If it came out publicly, sorry. There was a lot of deception and cunningness as well. Five of Wands. There was conflict and some change and some argument that had impacted on Joe to try and move forward with his life. There was a form of trying to rise above chaos, trying to rise above this person that was controlling him, and just trying to listen to certain things, but trying to get rid of that controlling energy. There is that sense of trying to agree to disagree as well in that form. So the King of Swords. So either Joe or an older male was very much ready to confront anyone that poses a threat that came in their path. There was a sense of that power and authority. They was being very detached, being cold and abrasive, but was ready to confront anyone that wasn't being supportive. Reverse Two of Cups. He had some own self-love and he had come to accept who he was. He had appreciated himself. He appreciated what he was worth. He had a falling out or a form of a breakup. But I'm going towards a falling out. Four of Wands, there was a reunion and trying to appreciate all of his life. Queen of Cups, so there was a female that was very nurturing, very caring and supportive, and people tend to go to her as well and share their what they need to share with her, like their issues. This was that person that had some form of involvement. Reverse Three of Pentacles, there was some discomfort and difficulty with being on the same page as someone else. There was being unhappy, couldn't agree on things. There was the sense to need to try and sit down, have a proper heart-to-heart conversation, or about all these unappreciative feelings that they had towards each other. So who was involved in the disappearance of Joseph Pichler? So we had the reverse Two of Cups. So they had a falling out or a breakup. There was reverse Page of Pentacles. So Joe was to try and explore a new project, but was not ready to move forward with it as of yet due to trying to learn from some past mistakes. Nine of Wands. There was an adversity with Joe where he had to stand strong, but was being very resilient at the same time. And he was being very challenged by a certain person. And there was a lot of struggle with this as well. Reverse Ten of Swords. So there was an ending that Joe was not ready to face. But the more he kept resisting it, the more painful it would become. There was wounds and burdens that he kept pushed deep down inside of him and needed to try and deal with it once and for all. And I'm getting this is a sense of that other person's feelings as well. Four of Swords, there was the need to try and rest due to a lot of stress and heartbreak with this family issues that was involved and this conflict, and went on to try and rest and have some form of that time out in that space. With this person that was involved, they wanted more and more wealth. They never felt satisfied with what they actually had. They just wanted more and more of something. And what it was, there was some setbacks. There was some challenges that was involved within this family stability that was going on. There was a sense of a job security or financial security involvements as well. And something was at risk. With the Magician, there was a good or a bad surprise that had happened that started to manifest, that this person brought into reality. And they was trying to stay on track with their own goals, with what they wanted and not with what Joe wanted. And things started to try and turn into their favour, and there was some happiness and abundance that was actually coming in for a while. So where is Joseph Pichler? So we have Eight of Wands. So there was a struggle that was trying to be resolved, but ended up being very fearful, things turning out the way it shouldn't have turned out. So that's how there was an unexpected change that affected Joe in a way that he could not escape it. And it was involvements of the truth that was finally being revealed. Reverse Queen of Cups. So there was a female who was very emotionally drained and set some boundaries in place and said that basically she couldn't take any more of Joe's baggage, or Joe was saying this to this person. So they just didn't want to take this baggage anymore, and that they need to try and take responsibility for their actions, for their feelings, for their experiences, and they need to try and learn to cope on their own. There was some codependency issues as well, and there was a lot of bottled emotions, and they had been suffering from this for a while. Reverse Three of Cups. So they're spending a lot of alone time due to feeling as if they're pushed out, and they are made to feel very much isolated. There may have been some involvements of party, drugs, alcohol intake, and third-party involvements. Chariot. There was a travel and a vehicle issue involvements, and someone tried distracting either Joe or distracting this person, and also there had been some specific boundaries that was in place as well. Reverse Ace of Wands. So there was an idea that he was uncertain about, and he thought about other ideas or other opportunities that may appeal to him, but he had struggled to know what he actually wanted. Reverse Hierophant. He was guided to follow his own gut instincts and his own path, and thought that he didn't need anyone's approval. He was ready to go on his own way. There was changes that had started to be made to do with the authoritative figure or to do with the conflict that was involved with his parents. Six of Cups. So there was a happy house with happy memories. He had connected with someone from his past. There was a rekindling and a form of a cooperation and starting afresh. Ace of Pentacles. There was a new beginning and a manifestation of something good. Reverse Four of Cups. There was a withdrawal from everyone and everything and shutting out everyone, including loved ones. Reverse World. So there was some personal issues that needed closure and wanting to try and move on. Reverse Two of Pentacles. There's some form of a struggle to try and maintain on things. There was also some stress that started to get to him and needed to bring some structure to his responsibilities. And he had left his family feeling very alone and very upset. What is the final outcome to be for Joseph Pichler's case? So we have reverse Three of Swords. So there was some words that have been said that was very powerful, making Joe feel like he's not good enough and need to remember that he is actually good enough and deserves a lot better than what he's actually getting. There is someone who wants to try and make this peace as well. Reverse Seven of Wands. There's some pressures that have been weighing Joe down, leaving him feeling full of doubts, feel as if he wanted to give up. He should not change just for others' sake. His family had questioned a lot of his choices. But he just said basically, this is who I am, this is what I want. If you don't like it, then either you go one way and I go other way, basically. Knight of Swords. He set his mind on something and no one or anything isn't going to stop him from taking this action. So he was very much motivated and he had dived straight into what he had actually wanted. He just went his own way, left everyone else in the past, and he went and done something that he wanted to do, not what everybody else wanted him to. Seven of Pentacles. There's to be some long-term reward and there is a lot of working hard to try and find Joe, but it will be a lot of frustration due to some form of slow results in it. But there is to be a lot of patience and trying to appreciate the progress of finding him so far. Reverse Six of Pentacles. So someone may have taken advantage of Joe and there was a form of a lot of debt that this person had been in. Someone tried seeking some help but never returned the favor. There was a lot of giving, a lot of taking, and not a lot of giving in a situation. Reverse Queen of Swords. There is a female that is to allow all her emotions to get the best of her. She's too emotionally involved in Joe's disappearance. Someone had been too dominating in the situation and they become very much cold-hearted, resentful and isolated from people. So that is the case of Joseph Pichler. So that is the research and that is the tarot side to this case. If you enjoy my videos, please give it a like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.